Hello, my friends. Happy New Year. Ivan Oberon here, your leadership, success, and real estate investing life coach, coming to you for the first time, actually, in 2016. I've been seeing all of you periscoping, and it's one of my goals, I should say, one of my aspirations this year is to connect with you all a little bit more on a live, one-on-one, one-on-many basis. I'm used to, actually, this weekend I just came back from speaking at a conference, so this whole one-on-many here is one of my goals for this year. And because of the time of year that it is, everybody talks about taking themselves to that next level, right? Growing their businesses, growing personally, attaining new levels of success and financial freedom and different things in their life than they ever have before. And what I notice is that we all say that this time of year, right? We all, regardless of where we're coming from in our backgrounds, we all say that. But why doesn't it stick most of the time? I'm doing something right now. I feel inspired to come to you guys on a more regular basis. Like I said, this is the first time I'm coming to you this year to continue to add value to you and to help you in your own journey of personal development and success and growth so that you can become that person that you want to become, so that it does stick, so that you do reach higher levels. Thank you, Brian, for sharing of success this year. So as part of our personal development journey, one of the things that we always need to do is continue reading, right? So I'm going to share with you some insights on some things that I'm learning from one of the books that I'm reading right now. And I'll share with you a quick little acronym as part of my morning transformation. Hey, what's happening, man? As part of my morning transformation ritual, if you want to know a little bit more about what that looks like, just hit me up here or afterwards. Hit me up on my Facebook profile. Go to my website, ivanoberon.com, and connect with me, and I'm happy to share with you what that is. But as part of your morning transformation ritual, you want to spend time in silence and prayer. So that's how you start your day. And then you want to spend time with your affirmations. So these are all your overall affirmations and also your individual affirmations for the different goals that you set in your life. And that's one of the things that I talk to people about when I go through the goal setting program. Then you have your visualizations, right? Because then that's part of what draws your emotion into those things. And then you have your exercise, which can be thrown either in the middle or at the end. And you have your reading. And then you have your writing, which really the S stands for scribbling, but it means writing. So I took you through that just very quickly just to kind of emphasize and reiterate the fact that reading is one of the most important things that you can do on your journey of personal development. So today I'm going to spend a little bit of time going into 25 differentiators between the middle class and the world class. And these are patterns of thinking. This is the way that they think. This is the way that they live. And these are some things that you should apply in your life and that I work to apply in my life, of course, because it's not about just reading the material or talking to somebody or having a coach or doing any of those things. It's about applying those things once you learn them. The book is worthless if you just read it and put it down. A seminar is worthless if you just attend it, get hyped up, make some new friends, and then you don't implement those things, right? So here we go. We're gonna go through this relatively quickly, but the first thing, and really I like the fact that it differentiates between middle class and world class, right? Because the middle class is dying as we know it, and I don't think anybody this year, when they were leading up to New Year's Eve and they were going over what happened in 2015 and what they wanted to do moving forward, I don't think anybody wrote in their goals, hey, I want to be one of the best people in the middle class. You know, I want to go from lower class to middle class or upper middle class. I think everybody has bigger goals and bigger dreams and bigger aspirations than that. And if you don't, I guess that's okay. But I'd still want to have a one-on-one conversation with you to figure out where you're limiting yourself. So here we go. Here are some of the mental toughness and mental acuity and habits that people make between the middle class and the world class. So first, the middle class competes versus the world class who creates. Middle class is always competing for that next position, that next promotion, that next accolade, that next thing. Well, the world class actually create. They create not only their future, but they create their content and their products, and they're the ones that are creating the books and the seminars and the ideas for the companies. So that's one difference. The middle class competes, the world class creates. And Grant Cardone says, there's no competition, right? There's only domination. The second thing is that the middle class avoids risk. The world class manages risk. They take calculated risks. They're not afraid to take a risk, to take a chance on doing something that they've never done before, whether they know whether it's going to work or not. So they're able and willing to take those risks, because that's the only way to get from average to extraordinary, right? And none of us want to be average. That's what the middle class is. So the middle class lives in delusion. That's number 3. Well, the world class operates within a reality of understanding that I can create these things, not a delusion of somebody's going to take care of me, that somebody else's the government's going to take care of me, or that somebody else's problem or fault why I'm here instead of me, and that somebody else can help me get out of this versus myself. So we have to be in connection with our reality and where we're going. The fourth thing is, and you're seeing me look over because I do have a list. The middle class loves to be comfortable, where the world class, you guessed it, is comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's one of the things I say all the time when I speak and I talk to people, is like we gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable, because nothing that we want is within our comfort zone except for our comfort, right? As creatures of comfort and habit, we want to be comfortable, we want to be safe, we want to be secure, but all the wonders that we're after, all the growth is taking place outside of that comfort zone. So again, the middle class likes to stay within comfort and seeks comfort, where the world class is comfortable being uncomfortable. The fifth differentiator is that the middle class has kind of a lottery mentality, right? And the world class has an abundance mentality. And the lottery mentality is really just kind of talking about scarcity and about how it's up to somebody else, and somebody else is going to do it, and I'm going to be able to get something for nothing. That's all that a lottery is getting something for nothing, which is why many lottery winners destroy their lives and squander their winnings, right? Because they don't have the right mentality. The world class have an abundance mentality, who understand that there is no scarcity in the world. Everything is already there. Everything is available. All your dreams, all your desires, all your goals, all your wishes are already there. There's nothing to get. They're there. You just have to figure out how to go to that level, so that you're in harmony with the vibration that those things are at. Let's see, Brian. So excited to see you jump on. Yeah, no problem, Brian. Thanks, man. So the number 6, the middle class hungers for security, where the world class doesn't even believe security exists. What's security? It's all about creating. Now, there's freedom, there's financial freedom, there are those types of things, but security is kind of a construct of the government. So they want you to believe that's what you're after. Right, number 7, the middle class sacrifices growth for safety, where the world class sacrifices safety for growth. Remember, we talked about this already. Everything that you want is outside of your comfort zone. We talk about setting goals and dreams, and I gave a speech today, this past weekend, at the Transamerica Financial Advisors Wealth Bowl, and one of the things that we talked about is the fact that the purpose of your goal is not to get the goal. There's nothing really to get. The real purpose of setting a goal is to inspire you and light a fire under you to grow. Because you can wish all you want. If you don't grow into the person that you're supposed to become in order to be able to attract and handle those goals and visions and dreams that you have in your life, they're never going to come to you, right? So that's what it is. We want to sacrifice safety for growth. That's what the world class does. Number 8 is that the middle class operates out of fear and scarcity, where the world class operates from love and abundance. You're seeing kind of a pattern here, right? Love and abundance, not taking advantage of my fellow man, not living in scarcity, not being envious over other people's successes, but being happy and understanding that there is abundance, that the way to advance yourself and to grow and to attract better things into your life is to develop this mentality that loves people. Number 9 difference is the middle class focuses on having, where the world class focuses on being. Again, you're seeing a pattern here. We talked about how the purpose of a goal is to create growth in you, is to inspire you to grow to that next level, to become something bigger and better, so that you can achieve those goals, so that you can attract those things into your life. The 10th difference between the middle class and the world class is that the middle class sees themselves as victims, and the world class sees themselves as responsible. Right? You know somebody like this. You know people like this. It's not my fault. I'm the victim. This is being done to me. Where the world class take accountability. That's just another way of saying that they are accountable for everything that is in their life. You have to understand that you are the sum total of every choice, every decision, every action and inaction that you've made in your life up until this point. So if you're not happy with where you are, then take accountability for it. Take responsibility for it. It might be a kind of a sting, a hard pill to swallow to know that you're at fault. But you know what? Once you get over that sting, you start from a place of total power, because you realize that even though your choices got you there, you have the power to take you where you want to go. Number 11, the middle class slows down while the world class calms down. You know, we got to take things in a calm fashion. You got to look at what's going on around us. We don't overreact. We're proactive, not reactive, right? And we know that if we want to accomplish our goals, if it's not happening, that we need to take more action and keep the pedal to the metal, not slow down. Number 12, the middle class is frustrated where the world class is grateful. Did you know that you can develop an attitude of gratefulness? At the end of the day, no matter how hard your day has been, you can still find things to be grateful for. And that's what the world class focus on. Is, you know what, things aren't perfect right now, but what can I be grateful for? What is my attitude of gratitude going to be today? I'm going to illuminate those things. I'm going to vocalize those things and develop that attitude of gratitude. Number 13, the middle class has pipe dreams where the world class has a vision. Do you understand the difference here? Maybe you know some pipe dreamers in your life that have had all these different things, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then nothing ever happens. The world class and leaders have vision, and then they put the resources and actions and people behind that vision to actually make it a reality. You see the difference there? All right, number 14, the middle class it's ego-driven, where the world class is spirit-driven. You probably know some people like this too, right? It's all about their ego. It's all about who's going to get the credit. It's all about look at me, look at me, look at me. Where the world class is more spirit-driven. It's servanthood. It's servant-driven. It's how am I going to add value to those around me? How am I going to touch and impact the lives of those that I serve and that are around me? There's a big difference there. Number 15 is the middle class is problem-oriented, where the world class is, guess what? Solutions-oriented. It's all about the questions that we ask ourselves, isn't it? If you ask the right questions, you're going to get the right answers. If you ask the questions to hold you back, to limit you, to diminish you, guess what? You're going to get those same answers. Your brain and your subconscious is programmed to provide you with those answers. That's why so many people come up with so many excuses for so many things, and they justify them because they can do that. All right, number 16, the middle class thinks they know enough. The world class is eager to learn. Wow, that's a big difference, isn't it? The most successful people that I know realize and understand that they've not arrived, that you never arrive, that you have to keep growing and keep learning and keep developing. And one of my mentors, Brian Tracy, he calls it the K-9 principle. It stands for continual and never-ending improvement. Whereas the least successful people that I know, the most depressed and bitter and just victim mentality people, they don't even give personal development a chance. They don't even know anything about growth. They just focus on the negativity, and they're happy having things to complain about, right? I'm sure you guys know people like this too. All right. Number 17, the middle class chooses fear, where the world class chooses growth. Did you also know that, obviously there's this theme here that we need to grow and continue to grow, but we don't grow unless we're struggling, unless we're failing, unless we're coming up against problems, unless we're going through adversity. And sometimes it's scary, right? To take on something new, to go through something scary or hard. That's where the growth really happens. And that's a big difference. Number 18, the middle class is boastful, where the world class is humble. How many people do you know that just want the attention, right? Look at me, I'm doing so great. They paint this picture of their life that maybe isn't necessarily even real. I used to know people that would go out and just being completely broke, just try to live it up for a night, and they had no business doing it. And I've known some of the wealthiest people that have stained shirts, that drive 15-year-old cars, that show up in jeans, so they're very, very humble and kind of incognito in many cases. So it's, don't judge people. Number 19, the middle class trades time for money. The world class trades ideas for money. And that's the difference. That's why your income will always be capped when you're actually punching in and working for money. It doesn't matter how much you make. You could be making $300 an hour as an attorney, or $500 an hour as an attorney. And guess what? I met a gentleman this weekend, super inspiring, super humble, super successful, to the tune of making tens of $millions a year in income. And that's what he says, man. He's like, you have to have the right ideas and create the most value, not necessarily trade your time working for something. And even the $500 an hour attorney doesn't live in neighborhoods that I live in because they can't afford to live here. So it's, even if you get paid highly by the hour, there are different ways, there are more creative ways to become world class. Number 20, we're almost getting through these. There's 25. The middle class denies their intuition. The world class embraces their intuition. How many times have you had a gut feeling that you should do something, or maybe that you shouldn't do something, but you ignored it because your pride got in the way, or because you knew better? Man, once you start getting more and more in tune with your intuition, the more you're going to be able to create those ideas and those successes in your life. Number 21, the middle class seeks riches, where the world class seeks wealth. Man, there's a difference between those two, isn't there? Wealth is created by your residual income investments, where you're putting your money, how good you become at managing your money and investing your money in things that are going to grow and give you income, whether you show up or not. That's a big difference between being rich and being wealthy. Number 22, the middle class believes their vision only when they see it, where the world class knows that they will see their vision only when they believe it. Isn't that true? James Allen says that we will never outperform our level of conviction and belief, our level of self-worth. So first, we have to believe it. We have to acknowledge it. That's why visualizations are such an important part of your daily morning ritual. You have to visualize, because the more you visualize and the more you affirm, the more you start to believe that some of these things are possible. So that's very, very important. It's another big differentiator. Number 23, the middle class coaches through logic. The world class coaches through emotion. Isn't everything about connection? That's another thing about the gentleman that I met this weekend. He was so genuine about connecting with people. He says that was one of his biggest gifts. The way that he receives the most is when he does go and he coaches people in their life, and he can make that connection. You can connect on an emotional and personal level, not logical. Like here's this step to do this. You got to connect first. That's why I love the curriculum from John Maxwell. Everybody communicates if you connect, because that makes the biggest difference. Number 24, the middle class speaks the language of fear, where the world class speak the language of love. You're seeing another recurring pattern here, aren't you? The more you love, the more you're grateful, the more you have a cheerful disposition, the more you have a true heart to serve other people, the more you'll differentiate your thinking and therefore your status from middle class to world class. And finally, number 25, the middle class believes problem solving stems from knowledge. The world class believes problem solving stems from will, from your will. You don't have to know how to solve all these problems. You don't have to have all these answers at first. You just have to have the intention and the will to go out and do it, to create, to solve the problems that you need solved, to help solve problems in other people's lives. So there you have it, guys. These are 25 differentiators between the middle class and the world class. I hope that this has served you, and I'm going to continue this as I go through this book that I'm reading to share these insights with you, because I believe that they'll add value to you, and showing and sharing is another great way that it helps internalize it in my mind. So that's a little tip for you guys there as well. And the more you want to learn things that you read and that you go through and that you learn, share it with other people as well. Spread the wealth, pay it forward, and you'll benefit in the retention process as well. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you at the next video. Until then, hold your vision for the life you want to create. Take care.